Welcome to this video. So this video is about the pose called Constructive Rest, sometimes referred to knees bent rest or sometimes called Great Psoas Reset. It's a simple position that can support or replace your traditional Savasana in a yoga class, but you can also use it for many other purposes. I personally used it before going to bed for a couple of months, just when I was holding a lot of tensions in around my hips and my lower back, and I found the benefits of it. That's why I enjoy teaching it so much, because of my own personal experience, and two, because it is very effective alternative to a traditional Shavasana for people with low back pain. So what does it actually do? What does it actually do? If we look at studies about the spine, it shows that laying down with the knees bent is one of the lowest stress positions for the spine. It reduces pressure compared with sitting or standing, especially if you have to sit or stand for a long time, which is why it often feels so relieving for people with sensitive low backs. Because the legs are supported, the hip flexors don't need to work, so the whole system can rest. So we're laying down flat on our back with our knees bent. But there's also many variations, which I'll be showing you, and I'll describe them as we go through. The one thing I definitely don't agree with is this magical psoas reset. The psoas isn't a muscle that can be released by just one pose. So when we look at this, what is happening is that the psoas is more in a neutral position, which you'll see because we're laying flat on our back with our knees bent and our feet either supported up on something or a little bit higher. There's more of a nervous system down regulation and comfort than a changing of a single muscle. So really what we're doing is, because although we're technically in some form of hip flexion, it's not as active as sitting or standing. That's why I sometimes use it as an option for Shavasana. For some students who find laying flat uncomfortable, Constructive Rest offers a supportive, breath-friendly alternative. It's very relaxing to sit and just do some diaphragmatic breaths in this position also. When we stay here for a few minutes, I naturally find a softening of my jaw, and my shoulders seem to drop down, and my breath just seems to move more naturally. The effect is a deep sense of ease without strain. So that's what we're looking at with the Great Psoas Reset, which it's not effectively this, but the psoas is in a more neutral position than it would be when we're sitting or standing. The other thing, actually, this is not a new position. It's actually been around or been used for decades. It's an old Alexander technique, which is a posture and movement method for retraining the body and finding better movement within the tissues of the body and the posture. So it's very beneficial, in my opinion, just from my own personal experience, and I hope you'll find the benefits of it too. So I'm going to set up for it in its simplest form. In its simplest form, I would just simply lay down on my back with my feet bent like this. Sometimes people like to place maybe a little rolled up towel underneath the neck, just to have that more neutral head position. And they will just lay like this for several minutes, 5 to sometimes up to 15 minutes, whatever feels comfortable for you. Also, many people like to bring an alternative in, which would be to put their feet on blocks. So this could be the blocks just underneath the feet like this. And again, the aim is not to have a pinching sensation or uncomfortable sensation in the low back. It's just a sense of ease in the lower back. From here, I could place my hands on my belly. Sometimes I place it on the inside of my hips in the pathway of where that iliopsoas muscle is running, sometimes by its side. Now, I mentioned before I practiced this position for quite some time, and I used to do it actually to the edge of my bed because my mattress was the perfect height for this position. So I'll just demonstrate that now using this. It's actually an inversions chair, but you could use a regular chair. You could use a regular chair, you could use a stool, or as for me, I just found the edge of my bed was just perfect. So finding, and it just tied in beautifully with me popping into bed and going to sleep. So for this, you would bring the chair or whatever it is you're resting your legs on. And again, I definitely still feel very much a sense of ease, more than if my feet are on the block. And I used to just sit here and bring an introspective experience, feeling inside the body. And I would stay here 5, sometimes 10, sometimes 15 minutes. But even if I just had a couple of minutes, that would be more than enough. So this would be on a chair, and especially this could be if you have a lot of tensions in the low back, or you're just feeling a lot of tensions in the hips in general. Again, it just allows that communication back to the brain. And it brings the information to the nervous system, and the nervous system can have a better information in, which hopefully gives us a little less tension and patterns of holding within the fascia and muscular system here within the low back and hips. So next I want to demonstrate just if I had a bolster again. Sometimes it can be just having a bolster or some cushions from the couch, and you could place your feet up in them. And again, I feel this definitely more comfortable than I did with the just the blocks for me personally, but we're all so individual. It's really important to find that Goldilocks, that just right for you. So next I want to demonstrate what way I will often teach it when I teach the Yin teacher training courses. So sometimes I will use a cushion like this, and I really enjoy to wrap that cushion in a blanket. You could also use a block for this, using the block and just wrapping that block within the cushion. So from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a little bit of support in the form of a strap. So just if you're not used to using straps, and you don't have to have a strap, you could use a belt from your trousers or whatever, an old yoga pants with a little bit of a, that you're not using so much anymore, and tie them around would also do the same thing. But if you're using a strap, just the double D, bring that strap over the top of the back D, and then just run it through. So there's a run, but if I pull on it, it stays still. So I'm going to make that a little bit smaller. I'm going to thread it up through my legs, and I'm going to place this lovely support in between the knees, and then I'm going to tighten that strap. Now sometimes I find personally, maybe not for you, but I've still a tendency to kind of hold my legs, so I like to push my legs against the strap for a moment and then give it a little bit more of a tightness if it needs it, and if not, just to allow my legs to feel that I'm not holding, I'm allowing the support to do exactly that, support me. So from here, I will come back down. And again, this for me feels as comfortable as when I had my legs on the bolster. For me personally, the most comfortable was with the stool. And now I could also bring an alternative in where I bring the bolster in. And this again is coming back into the realms of when I was with on the stool for me. And again, I'm just going to be in a place of ease and comfort. Sometimes I might do a gentle roll of my head to side from side, just to get that position of the head, and maybe the chin down to the chest and back again a few rounds, and then find that neutral head position. That is, of course, if I didn't use a rolled up towel to the back of the neck. The awareness is inwards. Just allow my breath to naturally move in this supportive space. And I would could either set a gentle timer with a very gentle chime in or bell for coming back out, or just allow my body to naturally feel when the time feels right for me to come out. When I'm coming out, I'm generally going to roll over onto my side and come all the way back up, and then I'll just release that strap out and come back into whatever my day was, whatever that would be. Or if I was using at nighttime, which is I had a tendency to practice this more at nighttime. But obviously, if you were teaching it as part of a Savasana, you would stay on your side much, much longer. If you were using the block blanket combo, or just the cushion on its own, or a block on its own with the strap combination, you would just roll to the side and allow that to rest at the side, or take them off before and then rest to the side, coming out of your Shavasana and then coming all the way back up to complete the class. Okay, so I hope you found that helpful, and looking forward to seeing you on the next video.